Well, God created the earth, so I think we have, and He gave us dominion over it. And I look at us as being more guests on this earth rather than owners of it. And so I think that we're called to be like guests and respect the earth that we've been given and try and preserve it for future guests that come after us.
I think it's very important that we think about the environment. It affects everybody, and because God has called us to do everything and care for everything, I believe it is important for us to focus on greatly.
I think we've been negligent in our role in the environment for way too long. We talked about having dominion over creation, and it's really good to hear at all levels that we're not talking about being stewards of creation, being involved, realizing that it's a shared partnership with the whole of God's people, the whole world.
Hello, and welcome to Episode 3 of Assembly on Demand. I'm your host, Evelyn Hornbeck. As you can see, the environment has been a topic that's top of mind at this first joint assembly. Earlier this week, delegates saw a presentation on responsible resource extraction and what role the church can play.
We as Canadians have a tremendous impact on the earth and all that is in it. Resource extraction is a significant issue for all Canadians, and for Christians in particular.
That's a really big word, responsible. Some folks have said to me, is there such a thing as responsible resource extraction? Can we do it responsibly, given the damage that it often creates to the earth? Given the fact that it's often done on Indigenous territories where folks' right to free, prior, and informed consent isn't recognized, or their treaty rights aren't recognized. So is it even possible to be responsible? And I think that's a question for Lutherans and Anglicans to try and come to grips with themselves. It's about education, it's about taking action, it's about praying and using the resources of the world, the earth, more responsibly. We need to remember that the earth is also our neighbor, and we need to care for the earth and be in relationship with the earth in the way that God intends us to be.
I think I'm going to have to get more serious about education about resource extraction in my congregation.
We have family in the oil and gas industry. We have family on the environmental side as well too. Being a teacher, there is no right, wrong answer. There's millions and millions of miles of gray in between each one, so it's quite hard, and I wouldn't say that there is a one way to support, one way not to support as well too. So,
trying to understand more about mining practices in companies that are Canadian owned, and the fact that some of this work is being done without the full consent of the people whose land it is pretty offensive.
I think we need to be educated as to what it is. As some of our guest speakers told us this morning, those of us who live in the southern part of Canada don't know really what's going on in the north. I think we need to be advocates for people, to speak for people who can't speak for themselves. And we have to be more active in our communities and in our churches.
Our environment up north is our whole way of living. It's hunting, it's animals, it's fishing and camping and being out by canoe and our land.
If I were able to vote for this motion, I don't have voting privileges, but I do have voice. I would have voted for it. A reserve is supposed to be a safe place, but a lot of homes are very moldy, and a lot of families live together because they don't have enough housing.
I'm here with National Indigenous Bishop Mark MacDonald. Bishop Mark, can you tell us a little bit about this exciting vote today?
Well, yes, the issue has been raised before both the Lutherans and the Anglicans in regard to resource extraction. This is an issue that is so critical to Indigenous communities at a number of levels, ongoing health of communities, economic development, all kinds of ways. It tries to raise in a fair way the ways in which resource extraction can hurt communities and help communities. So what they're asking for is responsible resource extraction. The key idea there is free, prior, and informed consent, particularly with Indigenous communities. And what's very exciting about this is that we have this issue coming before both communities at the same time in a joint resolution, which will allow us to explore this issue, look at the ramifications for it from an Indigenous perspective. Very, very exciting.
And when you're ready, I'd be happy to see the results.
I was delighted with the vote that it so resoundingly passed, and I was really struck by the passionate voices at the microphone from our First Nations brothers and sisters. And so, yeah, I think that we're on the right track, but I like what somebody said. It can't just stop at this motion. We need to do something now.
Feeling very positive for it. I voted for it, so I came with the intention to vote for it, so yes.
I think we moved in the right direction. As a church, I'm really proud of where we're going.
It's been a great day at the Joint Assembly with a lot of positive discussion. And tomorrow there's a big event on Parliament Hill led by the Anglican and Lutheran youth. So we'll take you there. Don't forget to tune in. You can also watch live at jointassembly.ca. For now, we'll leave you with some more scenes of worship.